Okay, the fuselage, Lewis wanted access into the battery rather than keep pulling the wing off. So what I suggested was we'll cut the top of the fuselage open to allow access into the top. Now, when you cut around fuselage, you're taking probably about 70% of the strength out of it because now it's no longer solid and it'll be very flexible. The fuselage should be able to twist easily. Now, when you have an airplane that's very old, it's very hard to match the paint. So when you cut into a fuselage or into anything, you have to be very precise how you do it because it's very hard to match the paint. And if you damage it, again, it's going to show. So in this case, what I did is I turned the fuselage over and I looked inside to find out where the stringers are, which actually form the fuselage, hold the shape of the fuselage, and where the bulkheads are, and then marked them on the outside, and then with my knife, I sliced in and removed the top section of the fuselage. Now the whole structure is going to be very flexible and very weak. So I took 30-second plywood, which is extremely strong, very flexible, and I relined the top of the fuselage up into the nose and into the back where the bulkhead are to bring the strength back in, so now it won't flex. And again, because the plywood is very flexible but it is extremely strong, you don't have to worry about your weakened structure. Now again, when you're cutting a hatch, you have to find out where your bulkheads are and where the stringers are, and I was lucky with this airplane because we have a blue trim line running down. So I decided that we're going to cut into the blue line, which is easy to touch up and it would not show after about 2 feet. So inside the fuselage, I took 64th plywood, which is about 2 thicknesses thicker than paper, and as you see, it is extremely flexible and it weighs pretty much the same as balsa wood, only it's 3 layers thick. Now, I put a piece up inside the fuselage just to provide a platform for the hatch to go on, which builds the top of the fuselage extremely strong, and the same on the front. And then on the hatch, oh yes, also above the stringers, I put 2 more tabs here and here, which now allows the hatch some resistance when it's being held. On the hatch, I put 64th plywood on each end and down in the center, and that makes the hatch now basically as strong as it was before we cut it apart. And then to have easy access into the hatch, I made these 2 spring-loaded clips. And all I did is I took 16th wire push rod, bent it in an L, and took a pen spring and a wheel collar, adjusted it to the tension that I wanted, and again with the 64th plywood glued onto the hatch, and then 1/4 square spruce as a bearing. Now it allows easy access to the battery, and from a couple of feet away, you wouldn't even know the fuselage had been cut.